the reason why I want women to be more selfish is because I honestly believe if more women were selfish, a lot of change in the world would happen in a positive direction. People think that I cannot be selfish and caring. I cannot be selfish and giving. No, I can be selfish and I can be giving, but I'm going to give to myself first. And when I feel that I'm fulfilled, I have more abundance to share with you.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Welcome back to the Badass Manifester podcast. I'm so excited because we are going to be chatting today all about how to transform the energy of selfishness and guilt into something that is so beautiful and so profound for yourself and really embodying your selfish babe. Because today I have founder and CEO Olanikees with us today. And she is such an accomplished young lady. She is Jamaican, she's Aquarius, and she founded the Selfish Babe app. She founded the Selfish Babe app so that women can see the beauty in being selfish with themselves in the name of self-love. And we're going to jam out all about like really encompassing this in your body in places that maybe you didn't think of. And I'm admiring her website right now as I look at her bio. She makes personal development fun and interesting. And I cannot wait for you guys to meet her today. She's so beautiful and I'm so excited to have her on the show. As soon as I saw the podcast pitch come through, I was like, yes, we need you on here. So welcome, Olanikee. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you. Hi, my manifestors. How are you?
So good. So can you share your story with us and how you developed an app? That's such a huge accomplishment. Yeah. And not only that, but it's just like for the betterment of humanity. It's not like a game app where, you're just going on there like fooling around. It's like actually to help you develop yourself.
Thank you. I first want to say that one of my selfish babes had actually pushed me to reach out to be on this podcast. She's a listener of your podcast. I don't remember her name, but I just know on Instagram, she was like, I listen to your podcast and I listen to her podcast. I think you should be into this podcast. And I'm like, okay, I'll reach out. So whoever that selfish babe is, I'm going to shout you out. Okay.
Hey girl. Hey. We're so glad you did that. Thank you.
But, so currently I am 28 years old and I dropped the app 2 years ago in 2018. And the app is called Selfish Babe. And what a Selfish Babe is a personal development and lifestyle brand that is teaching women how to selfishly and authentically love themselves. And through my app, Selfish Babe, I just really want there to be one place really where women can go and learn about self-love and changing their realities, but in one space. And I'll get into like how I got started in that direction. But with the app, it is a free app that you can find in the Google Play Store, that you can find in the Apple App Store. And after you download it, it's going to send you a daily affirmation to your phone in the morning. And in the evening, it's going to send you a self-love reminder, so to say. And so what I like to tell people is that I use a lot of colorful language. And so if you hear a cuss word or two, that is just how I talk. And so in the app, that is the affirmations that I give. I really wanted to kind of take what I was learning in personal development and, the books that I was reading, such as like, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Chin, a lovely book. And I think there are amazing thought leaders within the self-love space, within the manifestation space, within the law of attraction space. But a lot of people I was learning from were a little old, like a lot older than me. I'm not gonna say a little bit, I'm gonna say a lot older than me. And the information is beautiful, right? And I'm just like, well, how can we take this amazing information and kind of bring it down, I think, to the everyday woman, especially to my age, because I'm considered a millennial. And so for me, I'm just like, I want my peers around me to understand that they can change their realities, to understand the law of attraction, to understand the power of their words, really. But how can I break that down that's in a fun, easy way and that's simple? And I was like, oh my God, we always have our phones. We always have our phones on us all the time. And so when I first created Selfish Babe app, it was really a place that I was going to put courses on self-love and just have people able to go in there, because at that time I was doing a lot of personal development myself and a lot of VIP programs. And I will be honest, like sometimes I did not want to log in, because every time I had to log in, it was a new login or a new website. I'm just like, can we just have this in one place? And originally that's what Selfish Babe was going to be. Now the affirmations and the self-love reminders were just kind of like an afterthought that I did, because I'm really into affirmations, the power of my word, because I understand how strong they are. And so when I started putting out those affirmations daily, the women were reposting and telling me how much they loved it. And I was getting many reviews. And if you look now in the App Store, you'll see them like, oh, I was able to my abusive relationship because of this. Your affirmations have really helped me grow in my confidence. It's helped with postpartum depression and just all these things. And I'm like, wow, this is, oh, thank you. I see she got the Selfish Babe app right now. I was like, this is amazing. And so for me, I was surprised, because I'm like, yeah, I understand the power of the words, but I didn't know how a simple, thoughtful message sent to somebody's phone could really change their day. And some people, women, have reached out to me on my Instagram and they've told me, wow, like you're like the only positive thing I may see all day, or only positive message I may get all day. And so when I think about that, and I think about just how powerful that is to just say something nice or encourage somebody to say something nice to themselves, because for me, I understand subconscious thought, right? So for me, even if the women are not saying the affirmation, they're going to get the notification on their phone and they're going to read it to themselves. I put it in first person. Like if I'm saying I'm a motherfucking badass, that's what I'm saying. Like you're reading that, right? So it's like, even if you're not saying it, you're reading that, and you're reading these messages every day, and you're like, wow, like taking that in. You're taking that into your subconscious thinking. So eventually you're like, okay, let me just say this affirmation. I have women writing out the affirmations and putting it on their mirrors. And I'm just like, wow, thank you so much. So for me, in terms of starting Selfish Babe or having this app, it was just an idea that I thought about, and I was literally on the toilet, and I say this, I was on the toilet. I was like, we just need to have one place. And I was saying that because I was so annoyed with having to log into so many different things, and I was just being lazy, if I was being honest. But I'm glad that my company, Selfish Babe, has been able to been birthed through that. And so the app is just the first thing. We now have our own perfume and blessing oil, which is an anointing oil, which is a prayer oil, which women put onto their bodies, speak their affirmations to bless themselves. And so that's how I got the app started.
Oh my God. So as you were talking, I just had to download it, because I am also an affirmation junkie, and like, I would love to get your affirmation. So I am officially on the app. You guys, it's so easy. You just download it. I had to look up my Apple ID really quick, but that's it. Now that I have that in there, I never have to log in again. It's going to be amazing. So cute too. It's beautiful. Wow, that's incredible. Like even just to have that epiphany, even on the toilet, of like, all in just one place, just one place. Like that's very innovative. And I really admire you for that. It's really awesome. So how did you think of this name of Selfish Babe, right? Because I think a lot of people have a little bit of like a contraction when they hear the word selfish, like, oh, I don't want to be selfish.
Yeah.
Who am I to be selfish? Oh, no, I have a family to take care of. I have a husband. I have a job. I have a business. Like, yeah. What's your journey with that?
So I'll go back. So was it 2014, 2015? So, okay, I don't know. I think y'all all know Boss Babe. I love Boss Babe.
Yes.
Boss Babe. I love Natalie. And then I also love Manifestation Babe, which I learned about, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And so I'm like, I love these names, Boss Babe, Manifestation Babe. And so I thought of like, what would be my own thing? And originally I had a different name, Goddess Habits. And I was like, no, I don't really like that. I'm like, Selfish Babe sounds good. I like that babe. And I like selfish. Now, in terms of, so I always give credit to those two companies and those two women because I really enjoy that babe part. Now, in terms of the selfish part, for me, for women being selfish, it is not a bad thing. I think it's what society has constructed to be a bad thing. And so I am not surprised when women or people may hear the word selfish and they cringe or they think, oh no, I can't be that. That's a bad thing, because that is the connotation around that word. And so for me, when I talk about selfish, the reason I chose selfish is because when I think about selfish, I think about somebody doing something with themselves in mind and not with anybody else in mind, just themselves in mind. And so when we're talking about self-love, and we're honestly talking about self-love, we're not just on the surface level of what we may see as what is self-love, it is the focus of self. What are your things? What are your dreams? What are your desires? What are your goals? No matter what you call it, we could call it manifestation. It's still self. That's a part of self-love. Self-love has so many different aspects. And so when a woman is talking about self-love and talking about being selfish, I want her to think about those two things, because I read this quote all the time. It's always around Instagram. Oh, self-love is not selfish. And every time I would roll my eyes, because I'm like, if it's not selfish, then what is it? Because it's about self. But it's right there. It's about self. But the connotation that we have around it is like, oh, it's not selfish because it's okay to think about yourself, right? What I'm saying is that it is selfish, and it is okay to be selfish, and it's selfish because you're thinking about yourself, right? So let's say, take the example of maybe somebody having a family, right? I don't have a family right now. I'm creating one. I don't have one yet. But in terms of kids, I don't have kids yet, right? My mentor gave me a reading because I'm really big into spiritual readings as well. And she says, you know what? It's time to start thinking about your tribe. You know what? I know you're selfish, which is great, but how else can you be selfish in that manner? And she was able to give me a different perspective, right? So let's say that you have kids and you're like, oh my God, I really want a better life for my kids. So I'm going to be doing A, B, C, and D. Again, it's you and your tribe, and we have other people included into that. But ultimately, who does this serve? If you know that your kids are well taken care of, who does that serve? It serves your kids, yes, but it also serves you. So it's still of self. It still goes back to you as the person. So whatever that is, even if it includes other people, it goes back to you. And so for me, the reason why I want women to be more selfish is because I honestly believe if more women were selfish, a lot of change in the world would happen in a positive direction. People think that I cannot be selfish and caring. I cannot be selfish and giving. No, I can be selfish and I can be giving, but I'm going to give to myself first. And when I feel that I'm fulfilled, I have more abundance to share with you. But if I am not fulfilled, I'm only going to give you half of me, which is not the best of me. And I would rather give you the best of me when I want to give the best of me, not because it's an obligation. Because a lot of times when it comes to women doing things, whether it's for their husband, their wives, whomever, sometimes it can be out of obligation. It's not just me anymore. It's all these other people, and all these other people are pulling from me. So I must give. And then the end of the night, we're like, oh my God, what did I do for myself? Nothing. I feel so depleted. I feel this way. And I'm just like, no, get back to self. Even in a relationship, right? I'm currently in a relationship. I have a girlfriend. In the relationship, I think it's important that we take time away from each other, that we take our solo time. I love her, love being around her. But when I'm by myself, I'm just like, wow, this is so refreshing. This feels so good. And then I miss her, and then I want her over again. I'm like, okay, come over. You know what I'm trying to say? So even when you're living with a spouse, for example, I suggest maybe a hotel getaway a day or two out of the house. If you have the luxury for separate floors, maybe you're on the first floor and they're on the third floor. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just think like it's so important to get back to self at the end of the day, no matter the type of relationships that we have, because when we get back to self, we gain an inner knowledge about ourselves that nobody else can tell us. We understand more of what we like, what we don't like, what works for us, what doesn't work for us. And then we continue to grow and be our best selves in this world. And if women are continuing to grow and be their best selves in this world, then the world is flourished. And I'm not saying selfish and be greedy and never share. No, it's be selfish with yourself and do that. So that's what Selfish Babe is.
Ooh, okay, there are so many like nuggets that you just dropped that it's going to be really hard to pick them through because there's just so many. I can't wait to get like all of that on like a sound clip and like blow it out on the internet. Like it's going to be so good. But whoa, okay. As you were saying that, I was just feeling this like really intense, like next level of awakening around this of like, if women actually got this, like you want women to like, it's like bringing emotion to me. Like if women actually got this on a deep cellular level, the world would literally transform.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Especially because of the last thing that you just said about we would know what we want, what we don't want, what we like, what we dislike, like how we can actually speak our truth.
Yes.
When we create that time for ourselves, ultimately being selfish gives us the power to rise up and to share with the world and to be for the world in a much more, empowered way. Yes. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Yeah, it's so cool. And I do think that people are probably listening and they get it, right? They're like, conceptually, I get it.
Yeah.
But I think Olanikee's mission really, like, she wants you to get this on like a much, much deeper level, because let's be real. We've all had those moments where I was just talking to a woman yesterday. She was like, she's signing up for a breakthrough day. And she's like, I've literally never like taken a whole day away from my family.
Yeah. 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 There was a podcast I had released, and it was like for 5 minutes. I was in Thailand and I was in an elevator. Like, we were in Thailand in this house in an elevator, and I was so like stoked to be in that place. And I literally was like, I don't think that mothers should be with their kids 24/7. And that's the name of my podcast episode. And it was just a 5-minute talk and it's not to take anything. When I say this to any mothers, I will be a mother myself at some point. I just don't think it's okay to be with your kids 24/7. I think, especially in that young phase, when the baby's born, all the attention is about the baby. Sometimes it's about the mother, but it's really about the baby. And so sometimes the mother gets forgotten. And I've read lots of stories from mothers to know that some mothers feel like they've been forgotten. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's like, it will be a wonderful luxury for women to have more help. For, the other co-parent to take up and be like, hey, no, babe, take a day off, go to this hotel, go rest. I'll watch the child all day, or have a wonderful, a sister friend, that can do that to trust. I know trust is a big thing, right? So I'm just saying that it's okay for you to step away, put somebody else in place, and recharge yourself. And remember that you're not just a mother. You're not just a sister. You're not just a friend. You're not just a wife. You're your person, whatever your name is. Like, my name is OlanikeeOsi Podcast. I am OlanikeeOsi Podcast. And yes, I may have all these idols, but I'm still myself. So what are my needs and my desires? If I haven't thought about that for a couple of days now, because the baby has been with me all this time, right? And then there's that guilt, because I've heard about that, where it's the guilt of, oh my God, no, I should do this. I should do this. You should take care of yourself. Your baby get the best of you. And how does the baby get the best of you? When you are the best for yourself. Again, it goes back to self. Mm-hmm. And so I say this with also understanding that not every mother has that luxury. Not every mother has the luxury where she can say, hey, friend, can you watch my friend? Hey, partner, can you watch me? My mom was a single parent. She didn't have that luxury. I asked her recently, look, how was that? Did you go through postpartum depression? And she was like, she didn't have time to be depressed. She was taking care of me. There was nobody else. It was just me and her. And then she had my brother. So it's just like, I say this also understanding and acknowledging to those mothers that don't have that luxury. But I'm also saying that I really believe that you can create that luxury for yourself. I really believe that you can create that luxury for yourself. So if you're soon to be mom, or if you're already a mom, you can create that luxury for yourself. You can change your reality, no matter the circumstances, So I just want to make sure I say that with that understanding, because sometimes I think a lot in the not in the self-love world, in the personal development community, sometimes we overlook people's circumstances. And I want to make sure that I see your circumstances. So whoever is listening, I hear your circumstances. I feel it. I've been there in different circumstances, but I also know that you can create and change your reality.
So beautifully said. I love that you kind of brought that in for everyone. And as you were talking, I was kind of feeling younger versions of myself, of not as a mom, because I'm not a mom yet either, but this can show up in a lot of ways. Like if you are taking care of a parent, right? If you're taking care of a loved one or a spouse, or if you're a caretaker, like any level of being for someone else, it can't deplete you to the point where you're not being for yourself. And I feel, and tell me if you have felt this way in business, like it can show up in business too.
Yeah.
Giving and giving and giving, especially in the personal development world.
Yeah.
You're giving and giving, giving, giving. What about you? You got to practice what you preach.
Exactly. I feel like for me, I think there's like different phases of that giving, and when we're talking about personal development, because like, you know, I remember back in the day, I would do like videos every day. I would do posts every day, quotes every day. And like those really help with my business. Like Selfish Babe, a post go up every day, 3 times a day, but those are on auto now. Or on Goddess Detox, my other company, those are on auto. Now my personal page, I really try to keep that personal, and like it's nothing has been scheduled. It's just me. Whatever I post in that moment is what I post in that moment, because I want that to really be reflective of me. But I think there's different stages to where I'm just like, I'm not making a video every day. I'm not making a quote every day. At least not my personal page. Like all those other stuff, they're being taken care of. Like I've hired somebody in place to take care of this. I'll look over your things, but now you're the assistant and you schedule these things. I'm going to focus here, which is myself and what I'm putting out, showing myself, like my personal page. And so now I'm at a level where I cannot give too much for free, you know, because then that makes me feel depleted. That makes me feel like I'm not getting replenished in the way that I want. And for me, replenishment sounds like dollar bills. Okay. Replenishment sounds like getting compensated for my value. You know what I'm trying to say? And so it's like, at some point, I'm like, I'm not putting this out. But I also understand that some people's personal page is their brand. Like, that's a little different for me. Like, I'm my brand, yes, but my personal page is literally like a personal page. Sometimes I'll post a photo because I feel cute. And that's it. It's nothing to take away, but I feel cute today.
Right.
You know?
I feel like that is your brand, though. You're like, I feel good and I'm feeling myself. And it's like empowering others to do the same.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I just feel like you got to kind of, there are levels and you got to shift it to what works for you. Like for me, I have an assistant, or I have some people that do things for me that works for me in that time. Back in the day, it was just me, and I really had to do that. I did it, but now I'm in a space where it's like, no, Vanessa, which is my birth name. My spiritual name is Olanikee that I go by. So when I say Vanessa, that's what I mean. It's like, no, Vanessa, you have to, now you're in a moment of building a team. Like you have to have other people help you. That's where I'm at. And there's lessons to every level that you go to, you know?
So many lessons. I feel you on that so much. And yeah. And like really the replenishment piece that you were saying, you're like, replenishment's like dollar bills. Like, yeah, I love it. And you have a beautiful money tree behind you. I see it.
This tree in the shed. Thank you. It's like flourishing, like it's grown so much.
So beautiful. Oh my gosh. So I'm wondering, what are some things that we can give? Like, what are some tips? Like, what are your best tips to give to the ladies that are listening that are still in this place of like, what can I do to be selfish? Like, I'll try it on. Like, let's see. What are some baby steps for people? Hold up while I sip my Organifi green juice real quick. Yes, Todd and I have been drinking our juice. We've been good boys and girls. And I want to remind you to drink your juice. If you have not yet had your juice today, or you haven't yet ordered your Organifi greens, what you waiting for? They are so good, so delicious. If you are ready to reset, return the body to homeostasis, if you're ready to reduce your cravings, if you're ready for micronutrients to help you infuse more superfoods for your body to feel more energized, more vital, and let's be real, just better about yourself because you're drinking something green in the morning. Organifi green juice is for you. If you're not into green juice, I do highly recommend just trying it. But they also have other juices, some that are more sweet. They really do have you covered from sunrise to sunset. They have a juice for morning, noon, and night. And if you want 15% off, I got you covered, boo. Just go to my link, www.organifi.com/manifest with Ash, MANIFESTWITHASH. I gotta spell it out because it's a podcast. Just go to Manifest with Ash and you'll get 15% off. You'll feel amazing. You're going to feel like you're improving your total well-being, and I think you're going to love the taste. So if you're ready for some moringa, some chlorella, some spirulina, some beetroot, some matcha green tea, some wheatgrass, some ashwagandha, turmeric, lemon juice, coconut water, it's all in there and it's all waiting for you. So go right now. I can't wait. And let me know how you love it.
Okay, so baby steps. The first step is knowing what you want.
Yes.
So for me, it is taking that quiet time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. And when I say this quiet time, like I know sometimes, right, like we can be so busy. So it's like relaxation is like watching something on Netflix. And I get it. I'm there too. But I'm talking about not that with another distraction. And it's not a bad distraction, just relaxing. I'm talking about intentional quiet time of where you're really reflecting of yourself. And so for me, sometimes I'll take different baths, like spiritual baths. I may put I may put some roses and some honey, some Dead Sea salt in my bathtub. I may say an intention, affirmation, affirmative prayer over my bath water. And then I'll get into the bath and I'll sit in the dark. I'll have a candle and I have my journal. And I'm just quiet. And I think there was a time in my life where the silence was deafening. That's the way I could describe, like I did not like silence. But now I'm in a time in my life where I love it. I love to hear the nothingness. I love the void. More thoughts come to me. They come to me. Messages come to me. I write them down. And I know more of what I want to do. And so in that moment of that quiet time that you have taken for yourself, and I want you to have your journal, and I want you to think about, like, what do I want? How is my life right now? Am I happy about my life right now? Are there other things that I wish my life to be? If so, what? What are some ways that I think I can get there? But also think about what you want. What have you not done in a while, maybe? Like, oh man, I really wish I took a trip out here. I really got to get my toes done. I'm going to go get my favorite dessert. Sometimes when we think about these things, right, especially for a woman that may be starting out and may not have a lot of extra funds, think small. Because when you treat yourself in this manner of thinking of yourself and giving yourself these beautiful desires of yours, what I like to say is that the universe sees you and the universe is going to continue to bless you. The universe is like, oh, I see her treating herself. I see her taking care of her. Let me sprinkle a little extra blessing her way because she's attracting that into her life. And so, for example, one easy way that I love to be selfish is I always get a dessert with every meal that I order. More than likely, if the restaurant has a dessert, I'm getting a dessert and I'm getting one that I like. And so it's just like, oh, I really want dessert today. Okay, you really want dessert today? Go get it. Get it delivered to you. Get a DoorDash to you. If you can, get it Uber to you. Oh, I really want some fries today. I'm going to go get that. I know there's some people that's really a lot more health conscious on things like that. The rest of the week, do that. But on those times where you're like, no, I want to be selfish today. This is what my desire is. Serve yourself in that way. Serve yourself in that way because you are the goddess. And so whatever, pronoun you may go by, I'm talking to women or they, right? So whatever pronoun you may go by, you are still the goddess. The goddess likes to be served. And so it's like, if you are serving yourself, being selfish with yourself, you're going to attract more into your life. Okay. And so, when I say this now, I'm primarily now speaking to women who identify with having a womb and a vagina, because there's a lot that I think is talked about in law of attraction and manifestation, but there's a lot that's missed in terms of going back to maybe some older studies, even some tantric studies, where the woman's vagina and her womb area is a very powerful energy generator and a very powerful magnet. But how do women tap into that magnet? How do women reconnect to themselves with their wombs and their vaginas and their womb space to be like, okay, I'm serving myself and then I'm going to attract these things. And so when I say start small, getting yourself a dessert, picking out your favorite candy, doing something that you actually want to do that day, right? And so when I mention Netflix, if it's, I want to watch this show today, then watch it. But in terms of being selfish, you have to know what you want. You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. And when I say that, that is so important because it's like we can look out to the world and we can see all these other things of what success is to other people. But what success is to other people may not be what is for you. What does that mean for you and your life and your energy? Because that's what's important. And then download the Selfish Babe app because you're going to get an affirmation every day. And that's going to remind you. That's step number 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hold up. Whoa. So doing what you want. Okay. I couldn't agree more. And what comes up for me is like asking yourself also what you're tolerating, right? What you're tolerating in your life right now. And when you're in, and I love how you described your like tub and saying a prayer and intention before you get in. Like you just put so much detail in that. And I feel like most people are like, yeah, just take a bath. But like, this is how you take a spiritual bath. And so on that, it's like, how do they overcome the guilt and the shame? Like if it comes up of like, okay, fuck it. I am going to watch Netflix tonight and I'm going to do it. But then the next day they're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I want to rewind time and like go back. And that comes up for people.
No, definitely. I think a question I really urge them to ask themselves is why did it feel bad to do something good for yourself?
That's it.
Write that down. Why did it feel bad for you to do something good for yourself? And see what comes up. Are you affecting other people? Did somebody get hurt? And even if they did, like, explain what it is, like what happened, for that. So I give y'all guys a personal story of mine that I feel like affected me for some time. But at one point, so currently I am in a relationship with my girlfriend. It's been 2 years now. I'm going really, really beautiful. And, I came out like probably 3 years ago officially, even though I've always known I was attracted to women. Like I was considered myself bisexual. And so I've been married before. I've been divorced before. Okay. That was before I was 24 years old, just so y'all know a little background. And then, I met my boyfriend. Okay. So we were together for like 3 years and I'm a very open-minded person. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if monogamy is for me. Like, I think we should think about polyamory, which is basically having multiple relationships, but being able to be in multiple relationships. Like not, oh, we need to break up because I'm attracted to this person. No, it's like, I love you and I want to also explore this love or this connection with this other person, but that doesn't mean that we have to break up. We can still have this relationship. So something new. And at one point I told my boyfriend at the time, I was like, you know what? This experience of being with a woman is still on my list of life goals. Just because I'm with you doesn't mean this has disappeared. I'm trying to say, this is where I talk about the compromising. And so it's like, one would think, or in his mind, oh, she's with me. She's not interested in women anymore. She don't want to explore herself with herself, that side of herself anymore. No, I do. And that kept coming up for me. And I'm like, I really want to explore this. And so, we talked, I showed him some different videos, and eventually he was like, okay, we'll see if there's somebody, let him know. So nothing serious happened, but eventually I made a call on Instagram and I said, hey, I have a boyfriend. I'm looking for a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. These are the things. Got some DMs, and I got a DM from my girlfriend, and we went out for tea, and we literally connected so well, like fucking unicorn. And at one point I was dating my boyfriend and I was dating my girlfriend, and they were both well aware of each other. And then there came a point in my relationship with my boyfriend where I was like, this doesn't make me happy. It's not that she only does these things that you may not do, right? But these are actual things that she does that I actually want in all of my partners, not just her. And so one day we were coming up the stairs of our old place, and I had looked and I had seen an owl, which is definitely my spirit animal. And literally as I stare at that animal, the owl, the thought that came to my mind was, why are you still with him? Why are you still with him? And I had talked to my boyfriend about that experience, and we were already kind of sad, and he had left to go somewhere. And then I remember at one point just crying hysterically, because I knew that I did not want to be with him anymore. Like, I literally couldn't deny it to myself. It was just facts. And so he came back and we talked about it, and we basically broke up. And, you know, we're both sad about it, but now we're still great friends, great business partners. Like, we're just friends now, and I have my girlfriend. But I want to share the story because after we broke up, you know, and I'm living in, you know, my best life in this relationship with now my girlfriend, you know, sometimes when I see my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, I would like feel sad, you know, but we were great. Like, we were talking and we were cool. We took a trip to China together on this group excursion. And I was just like, he's so sweet. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just, he wasn't for me. And I would feel sad about it because I was still letting go. I was still letting go of shame, of choosing myself in those moments, of being honest with myself in those moments. And then we're good. Like, now he has a girlfriend and I'm encouraging him in that relationship. And I'm just like, it took a while to let go of that. And so I'm saying this story to say to my selfish babes out there, and my budding selfish babes and my badass manifestors that want to be selfish babes, is like, sometimes the guilt is going to come, and it's going to take time to release, time to reflect, because I cannot sit here and tell you, oh, just do this and the guilt not going to be there no more, because that's a motherfucking lie. Okay, I'm sharing this truth to let you know that the guilt will come, but it is up to you to release that guilt, to explore that guilt a little bit further, right? You know, I was able to sit back and was like, I wasn't doing any harm to him. I was really choosing myself. He actually really understands me. He's like, Nessa, like, you're a selfish babe. Like, I know this. And he doesn't say this in a bad way. He's just like, this is just how you are. Like, he actually understands me, and he doesn't condemn me for that, right? And so I feel like in terms of women condemning themselves for some of their choices of choosing themselves, don't do that so much, but explore why that comes up. Why does that come up for you? Because for me, in that moment, I wasn't about to live the rest of my life in a relationship knowing that I wanted to also explore relationships with women. And I wasn't going to deny that for myself for too long, because it kept coming up. And when shit keeps coming up, it's coming up for you to bring awareness to it and to bring truth to it, no matter how painful that is. You know, there's going to be a rebirthing process. You will feel some guilt, but you're going to understand yourself on a deeper level. You're going to continue to know yourself on a deeper level. People were like, oh, I find myself. No, you didn't find yourself. You're continuing to know yourself on a deeper level. And that changes year after year. Things change year after year. And I think it's such a great honor for you to be able to explore yourself and know yourself on that level.
So beautifully said. That was like a big, beautiful permission slip to allow people to let those emotions come up. And I think that that's like the point, is like, yeah, being selfish doesn't mean that it's not going to come up. And I just really appreciate you sharing that personal story, because I feel more connected to you, and I'm sure that they do too. And it makes, like, you're in complete alignment with what you share and what you do and who you are. Like, it's just so amazing. And it's brave. Like, it's hard to do shit like that. It's hard.
It is.
It's not, I don't think it's meant to be easy though. Like, that was a lesson that your soul came here to get and to experience and to know yourself on that deeper level. And you did it, and you're blessed now because of it.
Thank you.
It's so cool. It is so, so cool. Wow. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. So, what are some last words that you have for our listeners, our selfish babes, our badass manifestors, want to be selfish babes?
Last words. I think it's very important that women get into their wombs and their vaginas.
Yeah. I wanted to dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's just important. About 3 years ago, 2017, I had written my first book called The Power of Looking at Your Yoni. And that's on Amazon. And in that book, I talked about women reconnecting with their vaginas and their womb spaces, speaking affirmations to their vaginas, taking the mirror, looking at their vulva, their lips, and speaking these affirmations. And I have yoni affirmations in that book. And I have a course called The Power of Looking at Your Yoni as well that goes along with the book. But when I first started my business, Goddess Detox, I was introduced to a book called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. I'm sorry, I have to record this because I always love to give homage to those before me. She's a wonderful elder in the community, and her name is Queen Afua. When I started my business, Goddess Detox, I read the book Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. And in that book, I learned about crystals, I learned about affirmations, I learned about traditional African spiritual paths of spirituality. And I learned about the womb, and I learned about the vagina, I learned about how powerful it is. And so through learning that, my business, Goddess Detox, we sell the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls as well as the Queen's Vaginal Steam set. And so the Vaginal Detox Pearls is a natural herbal suppository that women put into their vaginas, speak their intentions over, and then they purge. And that is not just a physical detox, that is a spiritual detox, that's an emotional detox, that is something to connect you to your womb. It is a thing to clear the energetic space from your womb, past lovers. I always talk about detoxing your exes, because when we are engaging in sex with a partner, we are carrying some of their energy with us, especially in our womb spaces. And so for women, it's always good to refresh that space, and because you don't want just clutter. A lot of women have dealt with sexual trauma and abuse and molestation. It helps with that process. Then we have the Queen's Vaginal Steam, which is just vaginal steaming, which is an ancient indigenous practice that many women in many different cultures, Asian cultures, African cultures, Caribbean cultures, have done for years. And what that does is the steam is made with all natural herbs. The steam comes up, takes in the medicinal properties of the herbs, and goes into your vagina. Helps with period cramping, helps with cleansing, helps with attracting, depending on the herbs that you're using. It's helping to really cleanse that space of that womb area. A lot of times we just like to put a little sage, put a little Florida water on our bodies, and that's it. And there's deeper levels of cleansing. And vaginal steaming, as well as using the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, is another level. And so for women to connect back to their vaginas, cleansing is one way. But then affirming yourself is one way. Speaking those affirmations into your vagina, using the mirror, talking to your vagina, right? Because a lot of times it's our partner and our gynecologist that are the ones looking at our vaginas. We may get out the shower, pat off, dry off, but we haven't taken the mirror to look down there. We're looking at the front in the mirror, right? The face. But when you take that mirror and you're on your bed and you're looking at your vulva, you're looking at your lips and you're looking at your clitoris, that place of pleasure, and you're speaking those words and those words of power into your vagina, you are speaking those words into your womb. You are speaking those words into yourself. You are fulfilling yourself. You are magnetizing things towards you. And so I just think it's very important that womb carriers, vagina carriers, are honoring themselves in that way, are understanding of their power in that way, because women are way more powerful than we give ourselves credit and the world gives credit for. Okay, without us, there would be no life. And I want you to remember that. Without us, there would be no life. So there must be more respect to the divine feminine. So that's my last words. And down with Selfish Babe app.
I needed to hear that. So thank you. And it's just another thing that we've been trained and programmed and taught to believe is selfish.
Yeah.
So we're just unraveling all of it. Yeah. You are. And I know I can feel the collective energy right now. Like, we appreciate it so much. So thank you. It's amazing. Okay. So download the Selfish Babe app. Where can everyone connect with you?
They can follow me at OlanikeeOsi. So that's on Instagram, and that's OlanikeeOsi. She can link that below. I also have OlanikeeOsi.com, at Selfish Babes with an S on Instagram to have our quotes, and then at Goddess Detox or goddessdetox.org for my company Goddess Detox for the womb and vaginal care, and then selfishbabe.com for the affirmative t-shirts, for the prayer blessing oil, as well as the app. And then me personally, just to hear more about me, and then the Selfish Talk Podcast, which is my podcast that I host on my app as well.
Yes, and we're about to record for her podcast too, so come over there and check it out. I'm actually looking at the t-shirts right now. They're so cute. So cute. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the listener of both of our podcasts for connecting us. I'm super excited.
Thank you, Mel.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here. We be about it. Now go get 'em.